Hey there, it's Crafty Jennabug. You may be wondering what you're looking at. I'm wondering what I'm looking at. Just kidding. So today I want to make something called Snippet rolls. If you know anything about junk journaling, they are these little pieces of fabric or paper. Usually they have collage elements on them, and they are used when you just need a little something to decorate a page or a part of a page and you're not quite sure. You go to the snippet rolls, you figure out what you want, you snip the piece off that you want and glue it down. So I was recently baking and I had to use parchment paper. Well, the parchment paper was too big for the pan, and so I said, well, just snip off a little bit of this and use it for junk journaling. So I'm going to make snippet rolls with these today. I'm going to glue scraps, little scrap pieces on down, and then decorate them, and it should be a nice little ready-made thing to put in a journal. This one is actually pretty wide. I'm going to cut it down the middle so that it is not as wide. I'm going to make some different size. There, that one is a little thinner. So I'll make some that are wider, some that are thinner. I just, like I said, I saved these from the trash, which is quite a common theme in junk journaling. So I'm going to dig through some scraps and see what I've got that I want to use, and we'll be back. Alright, I have quite an assortment of scraps, anywhere from random pieces of cardstock, book pages that I dyed, little itty bitty scraps, all sorts of things, and just all sorts of things. I tried to stick with neutrals. There are some grays and blacks and greens and browns in here, and I'm just gonna kind of wing it. Hopefully, oh, did I close that? Hopefully this glue sticks to the parchment paper, so we won't have to. I think I'm gonna go across. And I'm just gonna go nuts. If it goes over the edge, I don't mind. Alright, I'm gonna let that dry. I'm not too worried about the gaps because I'm gonna come back with more scraps and I have some ideas. So, we're gonna let this dry. Alright, this is dry now. And I've turned it this way so you can see the whole thing at once. Since this is gonna be nature themed, I grabbed a few different stamps. I got this one recently. I don't know if you can tell what it is. It's like these really cool leaves, almost fern-like. Grab those. I grabbed my mushrooms, and I got some other leaves. This one has flowers in the pack. as well. So I got some leaves and some mushrooms. I also grabbed these because I love them so much. Not sure yet if those will make an appearance, but for now I'm just going to kind of stamp things on the background. So this, I'm using this Tim Holtz Distress Permanent Mixed Media Palette in Hickory Smoke, Vintage Photo, Ground Espresso, and Black Soot. I think I want this guy down here. And I think I want it in Ground Espresso. Alright, definitely not perfect, but this is kind of trying to make the background a bit more cohesive, is really what I'm going for here. So now I'm gonna get I'm gonna fussy cut some things, some nature-y things to go on this as well, and then I'll be back. All right, I have picked out a few things. Got Gardener and Mother Nature. I've got this little guy. Looks like a big stamp, but it's out of cardstock. I thought that would be cute on there somewhere. I pulled out a few of those butterfly die cuts I got from the Dollar Tree. I have these, and I have a bug. I also have some labels and some die cut butterflies and leaves. And we're just gonna kind of play around here and see what I like. So that's the basic idea. I think I'm going to leave this one here. I like it. And I'm going to work on another one, I think. This one, the next one I'm going to work on is going to be brighter and thinner. So like that, I'm going to set aside to dry. And then I have this longer, thinner sheet. It's about 18 inches long and about 2 inches wide, and that's going to be the next one. Now this one I'm going to do a bit differently. I'm going to go more for brighter colors. Let me pick out some colors and we'll go from there. So I forgot to hit record. That's my bad. I've started decorating this thin piece. It's about 2 inches wide by 18 inches long. And I'm doing a much brighter color scheme for this one, as you can tell. And so I'm going to continue with it. So this one is dry now, and the next thing I want to do to it is I have a spray bottle that I've put some gold mica powder in with some water, and I just kind of want to spritz it and give it some glittery goodness. It's not very noticeable. Oh, you can see it in a few places. It's definitely golden. You mostly see it here, where this paper is kind of, what's the word? Shiny, it's glossy. So you can see a little bit of it, but not enough. So I'm going to take some gold alcohol ink, and I kind of want to just splatter on it and see what happens. I'm gonna let that dry, and then we'll see what it looks like, see how I feel about it. I may want to do some gold splatters. We'll see. Gonna let it dry and we'll come back to it. Okay, while that one dries, I have an idea for a really thin one. Now this is about 1 inch wide. I took the piece that was left over from that one and I split it in half. And then I used tacky glue to glue the two pieces to make one long snippet. And I think I'm gonna just go real random with this one. Really random. And cover the whole thing. So let's do that, shall we? Alright, I think I'm gonna let this dry. As you can see, it's pretty long. So, gonna let it dry, and once it is dry, I will come back to embellish it a little bit more. Alright, this has dried. I love the gold splatters on it, and I've decided I want to do some stamping on it. And for this one, I think I'm gonna do a mix of like swirls, and these are really interesting. They are various, like, they're supposed to be borders, but some of them have like stars and floral patterns, and so I kind of wanted to mix those in. And I have a variety of fairy stamps. Got some fairies. I found these at a thrift store for $1. Fairy stamps, and then I have this fairy as well. So that is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to use maybe a light brown, a brown color, so that it's not so harsh. Alright, I have quite a few little stamped images I made, and there's a few of them I like more than others. I really love her, and this one. I did 2 wish bigs and some butterflies. The ones that came out on here, I really like her and her, but I don't think I need them all. I'm going to tear them all out and see how I feel about them then. Alright, so I think this is how I'm going to do it. Now I just need to get my glue. Alright, I'm going to let this dry. And I think it's done. I really like it. So, yeah. I'm going to let this one dry and we'll move on to the last one. Alright, now this one has dried. And I think I'm going to use a combination of stamps for the background on this one as well. Got these, particularly the remember in that one. I've got these weird letters that kind of look like a ransom note. And I have these. I really like this, and this for like the background. So that's what I'm gonna do. I think, oops, I will start. I'm just gonna use the Distress ink in black. All right, I'm gonna start with the newspaper. It looks like German. Looks like German. I could be wrong. Maybe I will have that be the background, and then I can make, with other scraps and these stamps, I can make decorations for it. I think that's what I'll do. Alright, I found some scraps in my scrap box that I wanted to use. I'm not sure about the red, but because there's not much in there. There's a little bit of pink, a couple of in here and here, but red might work. We'll see. I'm just gonna kind of play with some stamps, stamp around, see how I feel about them, and we'll go from there. Alright, after playing with stamps for a while, I've got a few different things. I kind of just played around. Sometimes you just gotta play with stamps. So, I'm going to cut these out. I mean, worst case scenario, I've got a bunch of collage fodder for future collages, which is essentially what a snippet roll is. You're collaging on a strip of paper. So yeah, I'm going to cut these out and we'll be back. I have cut out all of the little things I stamped. Not planning to use all of them, but it's a good start. Whatever I don't use, I'll just store for future collage purposes. Now I have the task of figuring out where they're going to go. So let me scooch these out the way so I actually have some room to work. And I'm going to start at the bottom, I think, and just work my way up. I'm going to clean up. We'll come back once everything is dry to review what we've done. All right, these are all dry. I've rolled this one up because it is very long, and I will go through and show you what they all look like now that they're complete. This one has a lot of leaves stamped on it, and mushrooms. Got insects of various types, butterflies mainly, but a little beetle, I think that is. Some flowers, some garden references. I like it. It's very cute. Then we have this one, which has some mica sprayed on it, and some gold alcohol ink, some filigree stamps, some stamped fairies on additional paper. I think this one is my least favorite just because I'm not sure. It feels like it's missing something. But, you know, it's still going to serve its purpose, and I could always add to it when I go to use it in whatever capacity I decide to use it. And then this one, I think this one might be my favorite, honestly. It's got a lot going on, and it is very reminiscent of some of the snippet rolls that I've seen others make. So I stamped the background with what looked like a German newspaper, and I just kind of added lots of lots of little embellishments that I stamped on other sheets. Oh, I got gold on me somehow. I really like the ticket. Yeah, this one turned out really cool. Like I said, that's my favorite. And so when you would go to use one of these, which I will showcase that in another video. This video has already gotten quite long. The focus of this one is just going to be the making of the snippet rolls. Future video will be the use of snippet rolls. This one I think would make a really good pocket because of its width. So I could just, for instance, cut it right here, and that could be a pocket. Just glue it down on 3 sides and slide things in. And then from there to there, or I could cut pieces off and just utilize them wherever I see fit in a page. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Very interesting. But yeah, I really like this width for like an instant collage pocket kind of thing. Same with this one. It's a bit rougher on the edges, so it might be better for just like an embellishment on a page, or like a collage cluster kind of deal. I do like it. It's just, one, it's not my color aesthetic usually. I'm more of a neutral tone girl. But I think my daughter might like it for her journal. And it was fun to make. It was fun to experiment with different techniques. The mica spray and the, I mean, I've used the alcohol ink before, but it was neat. It was a learning experience, and I don't regret it at all. I could even like cut a piece out. I don't necessarily have to cut it across. I could just be like, I like this fairy and what's behind her, and cut that out and use it as I see fit. This is pretty much, I'm going to use this as like instant inspiration for a page. So if I am working on a page in any of these color schemes, I could just say, oh, there's a little pre-made embellishment for somewhere on the page and work around it. This could also be used as a belly band or a tuck spot. So I could cut off, just for example's sake, like this much, glue that at the top and the bottom so that this part is not glued, and slide things behind it. Or I could glue along the edge. I would probably do shorter for a tuck spot. Glue along the, cut it like here, and glue along 2 of the edges, and then have like a little corner tuck spot. Lots of different uses for these. And then this guy could, oh, I've got an instant little collage cluster embellishment of some kind. Or, oh, let's go a little higher and it's a belly band. Whatever I could see fit. Just a little little pop of something on a page. Yeah, this one is definitely my favorite. I think I'll have to make more in this width because it's fun to just have something ready for when you're like, you know, this page needs a little something. And that's I tend to struggle with that. Like, this page needs something, but I don't know what. So, well, there we go. 3 very different little snippet rolls that I can use in various different ways. Yeah, these were a lot of fun. Good use of scraps, which I used for just about all of them, and then added extra embellishments. In the case of this one, I used scraps and stamped on the scraps to make the additional elements on the snippet roll, which was a cool use of my scraps. I still have scraps though. And for these, I used scraps for the background mostly, and then the well, no, these were scraps. That's right. But this one specifically, I used elements that I already had on hand to die cut butterflies. These I cut out of these 3 and that one were cut out of scrapbook paper that had like different elements on it. Yeah, it was pretty cool. I learned quite a bit, honestly, and I will be definitely utilizing this method again. I want to try some that I sew on. I mean, I could still do that with these. Maybe that would be the added element I'm missing in this one. My sewing machine is buried right now, and I'm not about to dig it out at the moment. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you're inspired to use up maybe some paper scraps you've got around the house. And we will see you in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.